Stop asking for sequels. Stop asking for HD remakes. I don't like it when you do that. Stop it. Stop having fun right now.
You stop that.
Sequels which develop the original idea, either by expanding the formula or presenting it in a new and interesting way, are great and fine and fun and great, but how many of those do we get nowadays? On an immediate level, sequels are often simply the same game again, with minor mechanics shuffled for good and for ill. The scale and or scope isn't larger, and there simply aren't enough creative changes to consider it an extension of the original. Dark Souls 2 and 3 do not increase the scale of the game, they don't make enough changes for it to feel like the same game but better, and they shuffle mechanics around seemingly at random. The fact that the game is called Dark Souls 3 demands a direct comparison to Dark Souls, which is distinctly not present when thinking about Demon's Souls. No matter how many little conveniences they contrive, oiling this toy to be more fun to play with, Dark Souls 1 feels like a real place with real stories which I think about long after the game is through, while Dark Souls 2 and 3 feel like a series of video game levels. Remember the term, I don't need another X because I can just play X? Yeah, that. On a long-term basis, game series tend to lose their identity. Like toys in an increasingly overstuffed toy box, sequels are expected to conform to formula established by their predecessors, generating an endless slew of the same game again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until they lose sight of what made them good in the first place. And then again, and then again, and then again, and then again, until they finally stop selling and kick the bucket. Simultaneously are they expected to contrive objects and scenarios harkening back to the OG, restricting them from establishing themselves as their own standalone complex. However, that isn't the reason why I made this video. I made it because there are a lot of commenters who hope for the revival of their favorite dead franchises. The people who made your favorite games 10 years ago aren't the same people anymore. They don't think about the same things, they don't want the same things, they don't value the same things. In the best case scenario, if you rounded up the entire staff of your favorite title and paid them to make the same game again, you still wouldn't get what you wanted. Like Yooka-Laylee, their approach would be different. Like Mighty No. 9, they might get surface details without understanding certain aesthetics. And those staffs aren't identical, but they have at least some people who are promising to give you the same game again. You guys realize that the most recent Super Monkey Ball game was in 2014, right? Not that long ago. Yet the last Monkey Ball game to even slightly appeal to fans was over 10 years ago. Do you think that business shareholders of the Super Monkey Ball franchise are going to know what Super Monkey Ball is all about? Do you think they're going to hire people who know what's good and what's really good? It's highly unlikely. Here's an entirely different perspective, the storytelling perspective. If you believe that every game exists to tell a story or to explore the following mechanics or some combination of the two, a sequel then, to justify its existence, must expand the conversation with this story or this set of mechanics. That's what Super Monkey Ball and Banana Blitz do. They take the formula and they add to it, whether with expanded level design or an additional movement option. Now tell me, what else could the Super Monkey Ball series do to continue the conversation of tilt-a-ball platforming that's interesting and fun and cool and worth your time? Step and roll and 3D suggest more traditional, flat mazes, like Deluxe suggested, but they're boring. I suggest the Super Monkey Ball has nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. I don't mean that in a the well of ideas has run dry sense, but in the sense of the story is complete. Super Monkey Ball did what it set out to do, and it doesn't need to do any more than it already has. Artistically, it doesn't warrant a sequel. It's the same with the Rhythm Heaven series. They established a formula, played with it in conjunction with the Nintendo DS's touchscreen with Gold, and perfected the formula with Fever. Megamix meandered with previous assets, recycling and reducing mechanics in an effort to present a greatest hits album. Some Megamix titles are stylish and aesthetically creative, but most are mechanically identical to older games. Rhythm Heaven is finished. It accomplished what it set out to do. Its job is done. We don't need another one to meddle with the perfect soup. We should let the WarioWare team go do something new now. We should move on with our lives. We should let it die. Because if you keep asking for sequels, that's when you get any Crash Bandicoot game after Warped. That's when you get any Spyro game after 3. That's when you get Halo 4. That's when you get all this bullshit. Your franchises, your favorite guys, they're still on the shelves, walking corpses, zombies, ghosts of what you used to like. Just stop clinging to the past so hard and move on. Let your series rest in peace. I'm sick and tired of nitpicking every detail of a sequel remake and compare it to its predecessor, even though that's exactly what should be done. Just let it end. Just let it go. You have to let it go. You have to let it go. Just let it flow. Just let it go. Just let me go. Just let it go.
Go with the flow.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
Go live a
Just
long
let
and
it
happy
end.
life.
Just let it
Find
end.
the exit.
Let it end. Let's follow
Stop.
this river of life instead
Just
of building
stop.
a dam
Just
here. Move on with your life.
Just let me
Or
die.
maybe play the same game again. Because
Just let
maybe
it
it
end.
warrants another playthrough. Maybe you'd understand
Just
it and appreciate
let
it on a deeper level if you
end.
played it again. It doesn't
Just
need
let
to
it
keep
end.
going. When it doesn't need to
Just
keep
let it
going,
end.
it doesn't need to
Just
keep going.
let me die.
Just let it die.